Welcome guys. In this video, I will give you some tips and tricks to reach Conqueror rank. To reach Conqueror you need to win almost every match, or at least you need to reach the top 3 in every match. I will provide you some strategy to consistently win or reach the top 3 in every match. It's now the best time to start with your Conqueror journey, especially when the season starts. When a new season begins, every player's tier will reset, and that's the perfect time for you to start your journey. Starting with an early game strategy and getting a good start will give you a better perform and improves your conditions to win games. So let's go to the tips and tricks. The following 3 maps are suitable for you to play when you start your Conqueror journey. Arangel, Miramar and Vikendi. These 3 maps are better because it gives you a lot more points, and that is what you want when you are ranking. Before you drop out from the plane you need to know the different risk classes of the different drops, and consequently the risk of going to different places in relation to the plane path. Dropping 1500 meters or less away from the plane path is in the high risk zone. As you know, anyone can reach any location here regardless of any places or getting a vehicle. Dropping from 1500 meters to 2000 meters is a medium risk zone. Most rank pushers usually land in these places, so dropping here is often okay, but not completely without risk. Dropping 2000 meters or more away from the plane will get you in the low risk zone. Dropping down earlier and driving here is also an option. It will take you some time to get this far away from the plane path, but you should be able to loot without any problems, and it is worth the time spent in traveling. In this particular example I would land in one of these marked locations, as these places will provide you with enough loot. You have to remember getting decent armor and weapons, and also healings is going to increase your winning chance. Try to avoid this drop locations, or also known as hot drops, as many players will choose to hot drop for instant action. Anyway, Miramar is one of the best map to push rank because it's the biggest map, so you can easily survive. The following 3 tips are important to know. Those are early fights, mid-game fights and final fights. First, I want to say, as you drop from the plane you have to spot for the enemy parachutes. Someone else might be headed to your location, and if that's the case you should consider changing your drop location. But if you landed earlier than the enemies and your enemies don't have any weapons still, and you find some things, then you should consider sending them back to the lobby, or they might send you back to lobby if they find any weapons. And the main important thing is to look for vehicles near the place where you are dropping, as vehicles are important for you to reach the next circles. Early fights, always avoid early game fights because those fights are risky and affects your journey to the Conqueror. Always try not to die early. This will give you a negative points which makes harder for you to get those points back again. Once you survive the early game and you have enough loot, then you should drive directly to the center of the circle number 2 at the very moment it shows on the map. And now you entered into the mid-game geared and a decent location to hold until the next circle appears. In mid-game try to avoid unnecessary fights, take the fights if you really have no other options. And never engage a fight in the blue zone. At the end you will enter the final circle. In this circle you need to search for a building or a place where you can take shelter. Usually these places are already taken and you will have to conquer these places. After that you only have one task, and that is defending your place and playing intelligent. Unless you really end up in an emergency, then you should be playing aggressive or in other style of rush. Some other option is if there are no houses or buildings in the final circle, then you should use your vehicles as cover and use smokes to protect yourself from any other sides. And try to do this in an environment where you can hide somewhere. Examples are trees, rocks, high ground. Also try to do this in the circle, not out there, because then you would probably already be shot by the enemies or followed. So which mode is better to play? I recommend to play in first-person mode because there it is easier to get Conqueror. Reason of that is the popularity of third-person mode. You should need a lot of more ranking points in third person than the first-person mode. This was my Conqueror rank guide. I hope you enjoyed my video and found it helpful. Now I leave you with a montage where you can see my gamma plan. Thanks in advance for watching and leave a comment with what you think of the video. Enjoy it.
Thought I couldn't breathe without you. I'm inhaling. Thought I couldn't see. Now
Feel my rage, smash 'em up. It's a rampage, the earth starts quaking. It's time to start shaking. Tomorrow you'll be waking up aching.